Welcome, everybody, to Monday Night Baseball Chat here on Driving to the Top Productions. Normally, our buddy Adam our producer Adam would be doing this show tonight, but it's just him and I, and we're going to be talking some topics that we came up with on the fly. So thank you for listening. And I'm going to say this at the end of the show, too. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Driving to the Top Productions, and wherever you listen to your podcast to tune in. So anyway, guys, let's bring on the man who makes all these shows possible himself, Mr. Adam McNally. Here he is, guys. Hey, Adam, what's up?
What's happening, James? How you doing tonight, buddy?
Not much. I'm can't wait to talk some baseball, and it's just you and I doing this. And usually it's everybody. We're gonna try to do this on the fly and as accurate and efficient as we can. So I'm watching a little playoff basketball too. What are you doing?
I have no idea what's on the TV. It looks like something about the draft commercial.
I'm watching the Knicks. They finally took their first lead in the third quarter.
I'm watching the kids cook food for Gordon Ramsay.
Wait, that's not the Master Chef. Is it the one on Fox?
Yeah, that's what I'm watching. That's what channel's on. I leave it on for the dog, and then I just forget to change the channel when I get home because I got to let her with some noise during the day, or else she'll go freaking loony.
Yeah. So let's get into those topics that we mentioned. So baseball. One of the topics I brought up. This is kind of on the fly. Was are the Oakland A's doing better than expected? Basically playing for pride now that they're moving out of. This is officially their last year in Oakland before they head to West Sacramento on their long journey to hopefully Las Vegas in 2027. So, Adam, what's your take on the A's?
Do you think do you think the Coliseum's gonna sell out at all, or have the fans just completely not given a Fruit Loop of a fuck, not cared? They have completely abandoned this team. I mean, opening day wasn't even a sellout. I mean, if you looked at the Guardians' pictures of the stadium, I mean, there was maybe 6,500 people.
I know, but I mean, I was talking about this with Joe. I think it's about time they move on. I mean, they gotta get out of there. I mean, the city of Oakland's it's a mess now from what it used to be. It was once a beacon city, but why do you think they're going to Vegas? Because everything's basically moving to Vegas. All the sports are moving there. That's why the Raiders left town too.
Well, they also didn't want to renew the Coliseum.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, though, they also got to get out of there because of the state of the city too.
I mean, what was it? $30 million to keep the team there. That's it.
Yeah, especially in a city that's not as populated and is way in decline now than what it used to be.
Yeah, I saw something about that today, but we try to leave that side out of it because it's where we talk sports and we don't talk about what leads up to why people get out of things, why everyone's leaving California, why. I mean, every once in a while, Jamie, I hear people are leaving your state as well.
Right. I mean, I get it, but I'm not trying to make it political. I'm just saying they're moving. They're moving out of there because of the current condition of the city, and that's why they're moving to Vegas because.
Right, the stadium is going to be phenomenal. Have you seen where they're going to play in Sacramento? Have you seen the stadium yet?
West Sacramento, yeah, it's a minor league ballpark, but at least in the short term, if they get 10,000 people, that'll actually be a sellout. So, yeah, victory for that.
I didn't know the exact number of what
14,000 people. I know it. At least it's 14,000.
So 14,000 is going to be a sellout in Sacramento.
Because it's in a minor league park. It only holds 14,000 people.
Sacramento really only has the Kings, right?
Yeah.
Do they have a women's basketball team yet?
I don't think so, but I mean, I think it's cool that they're going there temporarily. It brings more money into the city of Sacramento until they get to Vegas. So, but I think Sacramento's part of it, and then they might go to Salt Lake City and then Vegas after that. Like it kind of like, so they're basically, think about it, they're doing layover flights on their tour to eventually get to Vegas. Just think about it that way.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Like, so you can go to Vegas, right? Gamble, look at all the places, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, one day, whenever you're bored, you could go do a tour in like 3 years now. You could go do a tour of Reliant. You can go do a tour of, or not Reliant, Regent, right? Isn't that where the Raiders play? Regent.
Yeah. No, the Raiders played at Legion Stadium, and then you could also actually watch the UNLV Rebels play there too. The college team, they play at Allegiant Stadium.
So you could go. So you could go for that stadium, the baseball stadium, and the hockey stadium.
And potentially NBA. They said by 2028 they'll have an NBA team in Vegas too.
Right. So I'm surprised, and then all
And
of a sudden,
3.2 million and about 3.2 million residents by 2028 in Vegas.
now is that going to be an expansion team in Vegas, or is that going to be a team getting out of it?
The NBA probably expansion. I don't think anybody wants to relocate.
Because I think it'd be funny if like Sacramento left and came with their with their pro team for a couple years, but
Yeah, but Sacramento's doing good with the Kings. That owner's doing a good job with them, making sure that they're still in Sacramento and they're profitable there. That's why.
gotcha. So they're going to be playing in a AAA stadium. Is it AAA, double A? What is it?
It's a AAA.
So I mean, it's major league caliber. It's not like
Right, but it's only but it's only 14,000 that's too small for major league standards.
it's more than they're used to right now.
Right, but if they want to get an MLB team though, they're obviously going to have to build a new one in the actual city where it's bigger than 14,000.
Right. I'm sure Vegas is going to make a 50,000 seat stadium for baseball.
Yeah. I'm saying with Sacramento, if they get an expansion team for baseball too. Because they're talking about Sacramento getting an expansion team and Salt Lake City getting an expansion team, or Nashville too.
I thought Charlotte was in the heavy talks of that.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, Nashville's becoming basically the new Vegas, where there's a lot to do and you can watch sports there
Nashville
too.
has what? The AAA sound, right? Are they the sound still?
What?
With the guitar in the outfield as the scoreboard. Did you ever see Nashville?
The one in West Sacramento? I don't know. I've never been there.
No, I'm talking about Nashville.
Oh, the Astros you're talking about Minute Maid Park?
No, I'm talking about Nashville, Tennessee, where you're talking about. Don't they have the AA team or AAA team? The Nashville Sound.
Yeah, they do. And they're trying to get an MLB expansion team there too.
How do you think that would do?
I think it would be like, it's like I think it would do well there. I mean, it's a growing city. Everybody's moving. That's another state where everybody's moving, and it's a growing market. It would be kind of like Salt Lake City. It would do well, and because Nashville's, again, it's another entertainment capital, and there's a lot to do there. And if you add sports there, you already got the Tennessee Titans, so I think it could support baseball too in this day and age.
Well, I mean, as we know, Utah is getting an NHL team. The Coyotes are going to Utah.
Yeah, and guess what? The parallels to that are the exact same thing with what happened to the Cleveland Browns. When the Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore, as we all know, Cleveland ended up getting an expansion team in '99. After they left for Baltimore, that's what they're going to do with the Coyotes, because the Coyotes are going to move to Salt Lake City, but that same owner also just won land to build a new arena in Arizona. So the Coyotes are going to come back as an expansion team with Salt Lake, kind of. So they're doing exactly what they did to the Browns.
We'll see. We'll see. So anyway, back to the A's. They are ahead of the Astros right now in the standings at 9-13, I believe, 9-14.
That's like I said, that's decent for them, 9-13.
But I mean, the biggest surprise is who's underneath them, and that's the Astros. They are not living up to par right now at all.
And I think they must be having a post. It's probably a first year post Dusty Baker nerves or whatever.
That is true. They did get a new coach.
But I mean, the one thing about Dusty Baker now is he's probably got time to be up in Rochester with the Red Wings because his son Darren Baker's playing for the Red Wings now. He's a prospect there.
Or the Red Wings still with the you said they weren't with the Twins anymore, right?
No, they've been with the Nationals since 2020 or 2021. The year after COVID was their first year with the Nationals.
Gotcha. So, what is your surprise with them? I mean, what is you're the one who wanted to talk about them a little bit more than I did. But go ahead.
I think my surprise is they're still playing hard, and they've actually got some. Like I said, they're playing with basically a AAA roster as they've done every year now because they always had the lowest payroll. Oh, that's one thing.
And they're beating your Yankees right now. Oh, they were. I haven't looked. It was
they won 2-0 earlier today. I watched it. And like I said, they got a closer that, as we talked backstage, they got a closer that is his fastball. He guns it up to 103 miles an hour almost every time. And even Aaron Judge, it was so fast that even like Aaron Judge and Juan Soto couldn't hit it. That's how fast his fastball is. But like I said, they're probably going to trade him or something once because, like I said, he's kind of being wasted down there in Oakland, because they're moving. And he's the type of guy where I think if you put him on a contender, watch out with that fastball as a closer on an actual contending team.
Right. I'm trying to find his name.
He's Nolan Ryan if he was a closer, the way he throws. Or he's your guy if he was a closer, Paul Skenes.
Paul Skenes.
He was on the Pat McAfee show, by the way. Paul Skenes was.
It's Skenes.
Oh, Skenes. Yeah. Sorry, but he was at, that, right? I watched it. He was on the Pat McAfee show.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was. Pat was just being Pat. So Pat and his stooges were just being Pat and his stooges. What?
Why I cannot find this closer here for the A's.
I can look him up if you want me to. He's on the A's.
I'm on the A's. I'm having trouble finding.
Mason Miller, his name is the closer.
Mason Miller. I think I have him on my fantasy team too. That's bad. I think I seriously have this guy on my fantasy team. Let me check.
Yeah, you might. I mean, he's a raw. I mean, he's a raw. Like he's got Aroldis Chapman fastball stuff, but like I said, he doesn't get hurt like Aroldis Chapman does. But he's got a fastball that's even probably better than Aroldis Chapman's as a closer. Yes. Think about that.
Yes, this was his 5th save of the season today, striking out all 3 batters he faced today.
Yeah, like right here it says New York Post. He shows off his 100+ mile an hour fastball against the Yankees. The headline.
103.3, James. If you wanted to know how fast it was.
Yeah, I told you he could gun it up to that.
Isn't that wild? Like he's on my fantasy team and I didn't even know.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you're only gonna he's a hit or miss in fantasy because of the team he's on. So
Right. But in fantasy, sometimes you need those closers because you don't have starters every night. So you look for those. You look for those deep line closers that could hopefully sneak you into the playoffs. And if mid July he ends up getting traded to a contender, and he gets put right into the role as a closer, hey, who knows?
yeah, we'll see about that. So anyway, I think we should move on to our next topic. The Yankees are obviously they're struggling to my Yankees obviously they're struggling to hit the ball right now. Judge is struggling right now, but I think he's going through a slump. But anyway, the Yankees are still finding a way to win series, and they're still
I know you're going to talk. I know you're going to talk about this on Wednesday with Joe. But what is your quick take on Boone not saying anything and getting
getting it? Oh my God! I was just
you're going to break
Dylan. I don't know if you know this, but Dylan texted me and said that ejection was BS. He never said anything. It was that freaking fan who was yelling at the umpire. He didn't even say anything, and he got ejected. Yeah, that umpire was. I think he was just. He was a DICK, if you know what I mean.
Oh man, yeah, I have a feeling you're going to break it down a little further on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, but I mean, Aaron Boone said it after post game. He just said everybody saw what happened. I didn't even say anything. It was the fan.
What's going on? What's going on with the Yankees? I mean, are they getting good pitching? I don't pay attention because that's your job, and then I listen.
Well, yeah, I think their starting pitching's good. They are getting hits when it matters, though. Like their hitting isn't all bad. I mean, they're getting timely hits from Soto and timely home runs from Stanton here and there. But I really think it's their starting pitching, and they got a quality bullpen too. Even when it struggled, it's still good. They still can win with three different phases of the game. And like I said, it's only 22 games into the season, and baseball you go through the ebbs and flows with it being 162 games. But I think so far so good that imagine if the Yankees they're winning now with not hitting. Imagine when they do start hitting. So
Who took over? Who took over for John Sterling now? So he just retired.
he is retiring. Yeah. I should have brought that up as a topic, but yeah, folks, for those who don't know, longtime Yankees manager and former Islanders manager back in the 1970s. That's kind of how he got his name out there, but he really started it when with the Yankees when he said "Burn, baby, burn," and Bernie goes boom, and he made up all these legendary calls. But yeah, he's now retiring after 60 plus years in broadcasting, and also 20 or 35 years with the Yankees because he started in 1989 on the WFAN Yankees radio network. So many people had good things to say about him, but I'll be talking about him too with Joe on the show. Yeah, but I absolutely loved John Sterling. I always listen to him outside during the summer on my radio when I'm swimming in the pool.
I think Hensky with your best shot might have been my favorite.
No, my favorite is.
I remember that one.
My favorite is Glaber Day, and like a good Glaber, Torres is there.
I didn't see that one.
That's a recent one. I like Robbie to know, don't you know, too. And Melky Cabrera, the Milkman Delivers, and then A Thriller by Godzilla, Hideki Matsui. The list goes on. DiGiambino with Jason Giambi, Bam Tino with Tino Martinez, and El Capitan, Derek Jeter. I could just
Don't
go
forget the A
on and on, but I won't to
The
save
A
time.
from A-Rod.
A-Bomb from A-Rod, yeah. Georgie Juice one, Jorge Posada.
I wonder if you could put these. I wonder if you could put them in like the videos and like do like a little do like little shows so people can hear it for Wednesday. You should try.
What is it as an intro maybe for my show?
No, just like talk about it and then say here's a couple from him saying it live or whatever.
Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I can.
Just try it. Positively demonic.
Or I like he did another one. There was this Japanese pitcher the Yankees had. His name was Masahiro Tanaka. You probably have heard of the name. And he pitched a complete game shutout against the Tampa Bay Rays in 2019. And he also liked to sing a lot of like old classic New York Broadway plays. And so instead of doing The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow with Annie, he did The Sun Will Come Out Tanaka. Bet your dollar bun Tanaka instead of tomorrow.
Jamie, apparently
What?
I just got notification. Did you get that too?
What'd you say?
Did you get the notification too? Is your Twitter still running the show? It says it is no.
Yeah, I'm the one who I put it on there. That's why.
Right. I just got notification. Oh, looks like they fixed it now. Okay. Looks like we're back on Jamie's Twitter page. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, I don't know. Like a little thing popped up on the thing and it said we're having trouble with Jamie's Twitter. So I just want to let you know it's back in line now.
But anyway, we were just exactly, guys. We were just talking about some of John Sterling's famous calls. They all were fantastic to me. So he'll be dearly missed. He'll definitely be dearly missed.
He's kind of like the Penguins' Mike Lang. Mike Lang had all the sayings too.
Or Rick Jeanneret for the Sabres. R.I.P.
Yeah.
By the way, RJ, we love you, man.
Mike Lang was iconic though. Beat him like a Reddit mule. Scratch my back with a hacksaw.
RJ was great too. He had Roll the Highlight Film, Hog for the Goose. He had Pat La Fontaine, 'Tis the Season. And on Thanksgiving, Richard Smellick had a wounded duck, or Alexander Malgilny. He left a vapor trail. Or May Day for Brad May when he scored against Boston in the Adams Division semifinal to sweep the Bruins.
So just to let you know, Jamie, the power rankings came out. Did you see the Yankees fell to third? And the Braves moved back into the 1 spot, and the Orioles are in the 2 spot now.
Oh, what were the Yankees? Were they 1?
They were 1.
Oh my God, the horror. They fell to number 3. Sorry, I'm just being sarcastic, guys.
That is horror. I don't know.
It's sarcasm.
That is bad from the Bombers. The Guardians have moved up 4 spots to the number 5 seed now. The Pirates have dropped all the way down to 15.
Are they doing that thing again where they with a young team where they tease you and they start out great and then they show the real Pirates afterwards?
Yeah, they're 2-8 going into today in the last 10.
After starting out the season hot again, obviously, but
right. They're like I said, they're 2-8 now in their last 10.
It's still a maturation process, bro, when you got all those young players like that every year after year.
Well, like I'm sure I'm going to talk about it tomorrow with Richardson coming on the show tomorrow. We and him are going to be doing a Pirate Chat tomorrow night. I think at 9. But
Let me tell you something, but I go through the same thing. I go through the same thing with the Sabres every time they get younger. It's a maturation process when you play with a young team every year. It's the same exact thing with the Sabres. I feel for you, man.
Real quick on the Pirates, Jamie. So if you took Cruz, okay, I'm just going to throw this one out there. So you took O'Neill Cruz, right?
Dylan Cruz.
Oh, O'Neill Cruz. Our short. the 6'7" shortstop. Say he played for the Philadelphia Phillies, okay?
Okay.
So the Phillies have Trey Turner, who plays short. He's pretty good.
Mhm.
And then they have Kyle Schwarber as their DH.
Right.
There's a chance Cruz would be on the bench.
Mhm.
Okay, and that is like the Pirates' #1 player almost. Maybe Brian. Some people put Reynolds up there. Maybe some people put Key Brian Hayes up there. But O'Neal Cruz is supposed to be the next thing, right?
Yeah.
And if you put him on that team, there's a chance you never hear of him because he's going to be on the bench.
Right. That's what it's about. Sometimes it's about what's the best opportunity for guys like that to get playing time, or they sit on the bench. That's what it's about. That's what it's
where
that's what everybody complains about nowadays is opportunity for playing time. That's basically another thing, even in a league like the pros.
right, but that's where that conversation comes in, James.
Right.
The conversation comes in and it says, would you rather be on a mid team and be the star athlete, or be a star athlete and be on a great team and possibly not play?
Right. But I mean, right, exactly. And I think right, but now it's the same thing in college football. You're starting to see a trend now where teams would rather go to like a mid team and get early playing time rather than go to an Alabama or and be third string. And it's kind of the same way in the pros now. You're starting to see that. I feel like.
I think with the playoff structure going to 12 this year, I think we're going to see a lot of like teams wanting to get into this.
They should raise. I think they should have raised it to 12. I mean, and guess what the good
or 8.
Guess what the good news is? The first week the ratings are actually up this year from last year, which is good to see. The national ratings are.
But like you just said, these kids are trying to play on mid teams because they want to get noticed. But now that we're going to a bigger format, it's not going to be the 4 schools. It's not going to be Michigan, Alabama, Notre Dame. Obviously, we're going to see a rebuild in Oregon and Washington, and probably USC.
This year they project Notre Dame to be the 6th seed. Actually,
well, they already have predictions out. I didn't see that. When did that?
Yeah,
happen?
they no. Actually, the reason why they went to a 12 was to help teams like Notre Dame, because Notre Dame was always getting shafted with the four team. That's why.
Right. So
That they put it to 12 so it would allow Notre Dame to get in every year. That's why.
So like you just said, now do these kids want to try and play on we'll say like an A- team?
Like a Florida Gators or something like that.
They know now they have a chance to try and play for that national championship. So are kids going to want to play in these A- schools because the A+ schools are not the only ones getting into the big dance now?
Well, don't forget the transfer portal helped with that too, even with the 4-team.
Right.
The transfer portal
do you understand my question?
Yeah, I think it's only going to encourage more players to want to play on these mid teams. It's only going to do that.
Not the mid teams, the A- teams.
Right. I think it's only going to increase that, the A- teams.
We're talking about the 14 through 8 range, where these teams are always like feel like they got left out. Are they going to be able to get some of these kids that are in that mid-range class where you just said they really don't want to, they want to shine because they want to be in those schools? But is this going to make them want to try and get further now that they could be seen in a playoff picture?
Absolutely.
I know we're
Slam
well
dunk
off,
without a doubt.
but football always comes up on our shows somehow.
And you know what? I think what's cool about making it on a 12 team thing like that? The ratings are gonna go sky high, and it's gonna feel like it's gonna feel like the NFL playoffs, the college football playoffs with more teams. That's why.
I like it. I mean, but here's the thing that sucks. Like all those bowl games that are not playoff caliber, or is anyone gonna want to watch them at all?
Well, no, I think it could lead to more opt out. It could lead to more opt outs in those games, like
Right.
the mid teams that go to these mid bowl games are gonna. It's just gonna lead to more of those players opting out for the NFL draft. I think.
Like, are we gonna get what? Will they play that bowl game in Yankee Stadium? Right.
The Pinstripe Bowl? Yeah.
Yeah, Pinstripe Bowl. If that is not a playoff game, are kids gonna want to play in it?
It's not the greatest bowl game, but it's not terrible either. I can say that.
Right. But like these kids not making it, are they gonna want to play or not?
Well, like I said, you look. I don't know. What they could start doing though is I actually have an idea. They said they've been talking about offering NIL money to the winners in these mid bowl games to try to get them to play.
It's got to be a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of these kids are just happy because they got what, $600 because they made the Madden game.
Yeah, I guess.
I think that's what EA paid every college kid for their name, right?
Yeah, think about it. They were happy they got $600, but the team that was the most happy that got the $600, UB, did all their players paid the $600 to be in it. The UB Bulls out of all teams.
Well, yeah. I mean, what we have 161 Division One schools, right?
Uh
I think they all got in the game.
Actually, I don't think Notre Dame Notre Dame didn't get in it. They said they didn't want to be in it.
Okay, you're gonna tell me that they're not gonna be like the Cathedral or
I think they said guess what they said though, like with this game, remember how like before do you remember when like the earlier days of NCAA when they actually had the real FCS teams and they had the HBCU schools like Jackson State and all them in there?
That's what I mean, yeah.
And then in 2011 and 2010, whatever, they just generated the FCS teams. Well, now this game, they're going to actually have the real FCS and the HBCU schools back in it again, kind of like an NCAA 06 used to do. But anyway, back to baseball. So we talked about the Yankees and the Pirates, and let's talk about a big milestone that happened to one Shohei Ohtani for the LA Dodgers. He hit his fifth home run against the Mets of the season last Sunday against the Mets, but the 5 home runs is not the reason why we're celebrating. It was his 176th career home run, which passed former Yankee and former player Hideki Matsui as for the most career home runs by a Japanese-born MLB player. So, what are your thoughts on that, Adam?
We'll stick to the inside the game, but congratulations. The guy has dynamite power. You can't take that away. I don't know if steroids or betting is worse on baseball. I'm not sure. We're never gonna know. I think there should be an asterisk.
An asterisk for what? His 176 one?
Well, no, just because like I feel that they should have done more. Jamie, you're telling me like someone took $50 out of your bank account, would you know?
Yeah, but Shohei Ohtani said that wasn't him. That was his interpreter who did it.
Jamie, if you don't know you're missing $16 million, there's a problem.
Right, but I'm not gonna say why why it isn't his fault either, because obviously there's some there's some things with that, obviously, with his interpreter and him him trying to adjust to American culture and things like that. I want to be culturally sensitive here with that, but
Fair.
it,
I
but
don't
like I
care.
said, Shohei Ohtani did admit, though, he basically said, I didn't bet on the games. It was my interpreter who was betting on him. And the
Right.
fact he was betting on different sports, not baseball. That's the thing. He was betting on other sports.
Well, I mean, there's no way to. I'm sure there's a way to call that all up, but it's hard to trace $16 million, James. Like on where it went, on what bets went out the door. How do you know that this interpreter didn't give someone else a little bit of money and they went and put a bet down on something? Like the day
So are you
Shohei,
saying
like,
Otani's the one who gambled, or are you saying it's his interpreter that gambled? I'm confused here.
well, there's been a couple of occurrences came up where Otani had to pitch 7 innings and he went 6 2/3 and got pulled on purpose. And there's just little things that have been looked at.
Well, like I said, I don't like to get into speculative stuff like that, but hey, maybe or maybe not. I don't usually like to get into speculation on shows, but hey, I'm just glad it's over with and he's still playing, but still, it's a congrat. You could say he had an accident, but we can agree to disagree on this one, I think, because I don't like to get into anything speculative if I don't know it.
Right. I mean, I get it. I get it. But baseball should open the door and put Pete Rose in as a player. Man has the most hits.
But see, the thing where I also say that people like
Player.
the problem with the whole betting thing, Adam, is when they made it legal, it wasn't intended for the players to do it. It was for people like you and I, us consumers, to do it, not the players. That's why.
Right. But he was a coach.
Right, neither was the coach. That's the whole problem with it. It was only intended for us to do it, not the players or coaches or anybody that has inside information or may have inside information.
So you're telling me Otani's interpreter doesn't have inside information?
Oh, no, that's what I said. He does. That's what I was trying to say. He may, but like I said, I'm still not going to speculate over it. He may, but
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know. It just looks weird. I mean, then the three that saved the game back in the '90s. Why are they being kept out of baseball for saving the game?
You say
Why?
Pete Rose and all that.
I'm saying McGuire, Sosa, and Bonds. Why are they being kept out when that home run chase? If that home run chase doesn't happen in '97 through '99,
That was steroids though. That wasn't betting.
baseball was dead. Baseball would not be anywhere near where it was if it wasn't for them three saving the game. And baseball did nothing to stop it when it was happening.
I told you what it is. The reason why they're not in the Hall of Fame, it's because of the writers. It was the writers that wouldn't let them in, but they changed the Hall of Fame now where it's players now. It's not writers anymore. The writers aren't eligible to do the Hall of Fame anymore.
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, James, those three saved the game.
They did save the game, and you know what? I didn't. Steroids or not, they did save the game. They saved it.
I mean I mean, ESPN would break in and say, well, and it would be on a countdown. I remember watching on my screen at my parents' house. They would say Barry Bonds is up on deck, and it would show a little picture of him swinging the bat, getting loose, and then all of a sudden, it'd be an intentional walk, and then like be the bottom of the ninth in Chicago, and Sammy Sosa would be on deck, and ESPN would do the same thing. It was just moving. Everyone was watching it. There was
That's
nothing.
what they do. That's what teams do to Aaron Judge now when they don't want to pitch to him. They walk to him, but guess what? Now you have Juan Soto if you try to do that to Judge, if you try to walk him. So
No, that's not my point. Like, I'm just saying, like, ESPN and, the networks, they were showing you when, and they were having a break in the action to go watch Sosa and McGuire bat.
Well, yeah,
And
obviously. I mean, the coverage was huge for that.
I don't even know if you were alive yet, were
I was 2. It was 1998. I was born November 1996. That was the year the Yankees had the greatest team of in baseball.
So, I mean, you barely even recognize that situation except for video.
Right. But that
So
was when the Yankees. That 98 was the year the Yankees won 114 games and swept the Padres in the World Series.
correct.
And they didn't start out great that year too. That was a common theme of a lot of those Yankee teams back in the day. They always didn't start out well, and everybody thought they were done, and then they'd be in it by the end of the year. I talked about that with Joe on my previous shows too.
Yeah, so it's like it's do if you dang, do if you dang, do if you don't. It's this is going to be a debate now every time.
Right.
But James, any surprises this year in the league?
Well, obviously we talked about the A's, but how about Joe's New York Mets? That's the biggest surprise right now. But the one thing I did tell him though at the beginning of the year was I said you have my endorsement for Carlos Mendoza as a manager because he was a Yankees bench coach and he was always prepared to be the active manager every time Aaron Boone got thrown out last year. But hey, I got to give the Mets their surprise flowers right now.
Yeah, they started 0-7, then they
Oh, and
played that
5, but
up,
Joe and I knew the team was going to eventually get it going. They got a lot of young talent that has to step up for Pete Alonso, who's been struggling so far. No, but the Mets got a lot of good young prospects that are helping out Alonso, which is a good thing to see. And like I said, they got a great first-year manager in Carlos Mendoza, who I
well,
liked a
and
lot.
the Mets are getting a little bit of a boost on Friday. Apparently, I don't know if Joe knows this or not, but JD Martinez is supposed to be making his appearance on Friday.
I'll let Joe know that he's been wanting to see JD Martinez play.
I think Edwin Diaz coming back and starting to get back to healthy and fully out of that injury is helping that team out a ton too.
Timmy trumpets, right?
Right.
But that's played everywhere now, actually. Not just here. They play that for at college games too, when a team needs to stop on defense or during a timeout.
Well, they
Now,
did lose Cisco Alvarez though. Thumb injury, possibly done for. Doesn't say a timeline.
that stinks.
That's their number 4 hitter too.
What are your surprises, then, Adam? You asked me about mine.
I think the Astros being in the cellar is my biggest surprise so far. I mean, it's an early season, but for the last 10 years or so, we've always seen the Astros at the top of the division. Now, all of a sudden, new coach, new's taking over. But are they missing team chemistry without Baker there? Because it
He's
just
in a
seems like
no. The thing is, though, like they promoted him. He was Dusty Baker's assistant. So I mean, it's kind of weird that they wouldn't have team chemistry if it's basically, a different guy, but it's the same. But he was working under Baker.
right. That's not what I'm saying. Like I'm just saying, new coach, new. I mean, every coach comes into somewhere and brings something different.
Right.
Because if the team wanted to keep Baker, I know Baker left on his own, but if they wanted to keep Baker, they would have, the structure is still there, but the new coach is there. And did the new coach, did he come in and change something? Did he because apparently he missed something here because this team's usually at the top of the division. And
well, like I said, usually, like I said, when you make an in-out, I don't know if he made too many changes because when you make an in-house hire, they don't really usually make a lot of changes like that. It was an in-house hire. So,
well, apparently something happened there, James.
I know. And I'm surprised that doesn't usually happen with an in-house hire. So,
You did. Here's another one that got me a little bit surprised too. A lot of pitchers are getting 10 Ks in 6 innings to this year. Like tonight, it happened with Paddock. He's playing the White Sox, I believe.
yeah.
Paddock got 10 strikeouts in 6 innings tonight. Look over the board. If you look in the past, a lot of these pitchers get 10 strikeouts a game anymore. Like
That's because they're getting pulled after 5 or 6 innings. They don't go the entire game like they used to back in the old days. See, back in the days of like obviously Nolan Ryan or like even in the 50s, you didn't have relievers. The starters would basically pitch the whole game. The only way the starters would be taken out is if they were hurt. Now it's like your relievers have to come in and throw more pitches than the starters do. I mean, that's crazy.
right, but I like I was saying, you're seeing a lot more pitchers now with 10 strikeouts in 6+ innings.
That also has to do with everybody coming in with their 100-mile-an-hour fastballs and just gunning it at batters. That's what I think too.
That's why the starters are getting 10+ strikeouts.
Yeah, and like I said, you got to remember Nolan Ryan. He was the reason why he was affected was because he was throwing 100 miles an hour when everybody was still throwing 70. That's why. But see, now you got everybody that's throwing like 98, 99, 100 with their fastballs now. That's why.
Oh, the radar gun's also a little bit different now too.
Yeah, but like I said, Nolan Ryan was clocking 100 when everybody was clocking barely 80 or 85 on their fastballs. So he was a rarity.
I'll take him. Nolan Ryan didn't win a Cy Young, right?
Yeah, but I mean, don't you think that he was going to be as good as advertised when he was throwing pitches that that fast when like nobody else in the league was doing that? Though, don't you think he was meant to be that good?
Oh yeah, he went for 27 years. You don't go and he adjusted to age, and he still threw a no hitter at what
Yeah.
46 years old, I think it was.
But I mean, and now you got a game where everybody's basically their fastballs are hitting 95, 96. And like I said, these young guys are coming in that are throwing 100 now. That's a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So you got anything else for us tonight, Jam? Whenever some time.
I think we did. I think we touched everything. So, Adam, where can we find you on social media then? As of today?
Top Productions on YouTube. You can find me and Jamie. Jamie has a show Wednesday. I'm doing Bucko Talk tomorrow night with Rich Richardson. I think we're going at 9, 8 o'clock his time. Sports Talking It on the X. Driving to the Top Productions. Forget the Twitter name, but that one's also on Driving to the Top on Twitter. Yeah, so that's where you can find me on Facebook too, under Ad McNally or Adam, whichever one you want. I respond to both, and yeah, that's about it.
And then, like I said, as Adam said, you can find me on Driving to the Top Productions. You can also find me on Jamie Malloy, the unbiased journalist at DJ Dog Tags, and also Bill's Mafia Chat and Bill's Chat 1 at Bill's Mafia Chat on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And I have another baseball show I'm going to be doing Wednesday at 8 o'clock with my buddy Joe, who we also do a Bills podcast. That's going to be starting up in July again once we get to closer to NFL. And then, like I said, as I said earlier in the show, I'm going to say this again too. Please, guys, do us a favor. Subscribe to this channel. We want to grow. We want to get better. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Driving to the Top Productions by hitting the subscribe button, where you can listen to us talk about all these wonderful things in the sports world. And also, wherever you get your podcast, feel free to tune in to our show, because we're getting better and we're growing.
Are you and Joe going to be doing a draft wrap-up show special?
He can't do it on Tuesday. He's working, and I tried to get another guy. I tried to get Steve the car guy. He couldn't do it either.
You can go whenever day you want, you know.
Yeah.
You don't have to go on Tuesday. Special breaking draft recover. Yeah. Maybe.
But I mean, I was gonna do it, but I can't find anybody. So.
Yeah. All right, and I know Matt is doing his Baltimore picks tomorrow. I believe that's what he told me. So
wait, you said you were gonna do an NFL chat tomorrow? You said at 9, right?
No, Matt's doing a Ravens. What he thinks the Ravens are going to do for all the rounds, I believe.
You said that was at 9?
9 or 8 tomorrow.
Okay.
Whatever time Matt wants to go. I don't know.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. As I said, don't forget to subscribe. We want to grow and get better. And then also you can find me at theforkball.com, where I write coverage for all sports. So have a good night, guys, and we'll see you next time for our next show.
Alrighty, guys. Have a good one. Thank you for tuning in.